Hey friend, Sean with Guided Productions. It's Christmas time if you haven't gathered that already, and I hope to give you a bit of a gift today as we talk about log camera settings. Now, maybe you've picked up a camera for the first time, a nice camera for the first time. Maybe you got one for Christmas, or maybe you've been carrying a camera around for years and you finally decided to dabble with the log settings because, hey, that's what the pros do, right? But now suddenly all your footage looks like this. Wait, what? Have no fear, my friend. By the time we're done here today, my hope is that you'll be able to expertly navigate your camera settings and your editing software so that you can make your footage go from this to this in a snap. Now, quick disclaimer, I will be speaking directly to the Canon and Sony user here today. It's where I have most of my experience, but I do have to imagine that there are similar resources available for the other popular camera brands that are on the market today. Again, this is just where I'm most comfortable, so these are what I'm going to be using for my example. Now, let's back up a little bit. If you've already imported your footage into your favorite editing software, it doesn't matter if it's Premiere, Final Cut, DaVinci Resolve, what have you, you've probably already missed a step because there's something that we need to know that's happening inside our camera as we hit record before we ever even make it into the editing software, because we need to be able to tell our computer how to read that data. So for this example, I'm going to dive into the menu settings of my Canon EOS R8 camera. This is going to follow nicely along with any of the Canon R-Line series cameras. Now, if you are shooting on a Sony, I don't have a Sony here today. I'm sorry to be able to walk through that with you. However, a lot of these settings are going to be pretty transferable, so you should be able to follow along generally, and we'll get to the same result. All right, without further ado, let me jump into my camera and let's take a look. So as mentioned, I am in the Canon EOS R8 camera. This menu is going to look very familiar if you're using any R-Line series camera from Canon. Now, if you are on a Sony, obviously things are going to look a little bit different, but generally what we're looking for should be the same. So I'm just going to back up a little bit here. If I go all the way to 1, what I'm trying to find are my camera log settings. So just scroll around until you find something that says Canon log or Sony log, C log, S log, something to that nature is what we're looking for here. For me, it's right on number 4 and down here toward the bottom. One quick note, if you're shooting in automatic mode up here on the top, it's not going to appear. Canon log settings will not appear in automatic mode, so make sure you flip this dial to the M or manual so that that appears and you'll see Canon log there. We'll go ahead and open that up. You see that I have the option to turn Canon C-Log 3 on or off. If you're using an older Canon camera, you might actually see 2 options, one for C-Log without the 3 and one with C-Log 3. And that's just because C-Log 3 is a newer log format that Canon has rolled out, firmware updates, software updates, all that good stuff. And because the R8 camera is a newer model, it just comes with C-Log 3. So I'll back up a bit here. The number one thing that we are looking for inside our Canon log settings or our Sony log settings is the color space. This is the information that we need in order to provide the right resources to our editing software so that we can convert that grayscale flat image to the beautiful color that we know our camera can produce. So it doesn't matter if you're in BT 709, 2020, or Cinema Gamut. I typically leave mine on Cinema Gamut because I do think that provides the broadest spectrum of colors, but play around with it and decide for yourself which option you like the most. All you need to know is which option you've selected so that when you're filming, you can easily select the right conversion LUT or lookup table to tell your editing software what to do with that information. So from here, are we going straight into our editing software? Not just yet. I'm actually going to take you to the Canon website and Sony's website and show you that they have free downloadable conversion LUTs that you can put right into your editing software, save it to your computer. When you bring in that grayscale or that flat image footage, you can throw on that conversion LUT and it will take that image from flat to beautifully colored in one click. So why don't I take you to my computer and I'll walk you through both sites right now. If you're following along, you'll see that I am on Canon's main website, just usa.canon.com. If you're in a different country, you can fill in your country here, but this is just their main homepage. Nowhere crazy. You can see they've got some holiday deals going on, but that's not why we're here, Sean. Okay, we're looking for conversion LUTs. All you need to do is scroll to the bottom of the page and click this button that says Product Support. That is going to take you to this new field where you can choose what type of device or product that we're working with. Obviously, we're speaking about cameras. Let's go ahead and click that. Here, we need to define what camera we're going to be using. I am using an EOS camera, the Canon EOS R8, so I will select EOS digital cameras, and you'll see this huge lists pop up. This is every Canon EOS model showing today currently. I just need to scroll through these columns until I find R8, which I know here is down at the bottom right. But if you have an R7, here it is over here, or an R5, or a EOS R, great camera. All of these are just showing which camera you have. So find your camera and click the link there. It'll then take you to this page. Here's a picture of my lovely little camera that I love so dearly. We're going to go to this download section and select software and drivers. Click that. It should automatically detect your operating system, but if it doesn't, you can click that here. And it wants to know which version you're running. It's detecting Catalina. I'm actually running Ventura version 13, so I'm not sure why it didn't figure that out. Either way, I don't actually know if it matters, but for the sake of safety, maybe it's best to put the correct version in there. You'll see right here at the top, Canon lookup table, and then it gives you the version. The cool thing about Canon is they're updating these all the time. I'm pretty sure the version of these LUTs that I have currently saved, they were developed back in March, and you can see a release date of December 3rd, 2025. They've actually released a new set, so I'll probably come in here and end up updating mine myself. All you need to do is click this download button, and it will start the process. It's a zip file that you'll then open up and save on your computer. Don't worry, this isn't a scam. You're right on Canon's homepage. They've designed these specifically for videographers and video editors. It's open for you, free to use. So go ahead and download these, and then you'll save them to your computer. You can either save them in a way that Premiere or DaVinci or Final Cut, whatever software you're using, can source them. Otherwise, there is an option to browse for your LUTs as needed. So I've already done this, so I'm just going to jump to Premiere. That's the editing software that I'm using for this video, and you'll see my log format footage on the screen. This is that very flat, dull image taken right out of my camera. And if I go to my Lumetri color panel on the right, make this a little easier to see, in basic correction, there's what's called input LUT. Right now it says none. If I click this drop down, I can either browse for my conversion LUTs if I save them to a specific folder. I happen to save mine directly inside of the Premiere Pro application, so my LUTs will just appear down here in this drop down, which is really handy, but you can do it either way. Some of these other LUTs at the top are the default presets that come with Premiere. I don't use any of these. I'm just looking for the one that matches the data coming out of my camera. As we talked before, I used Cinema Gamut and Canon C-Log 3, and I want to convert this to a BT709. If I just click this one, you're going to see all that color data come flooding into my image, and that's what we've got here now on the screen. Personally, this felt a little oversaturated. I did have some pretty hot lights next to my face, and there's some other things going on in the image. You can always clean things up later. I created an adjustment layer I titled Look, where I just pulled out some of that saturation, and this is the final result. The nice thing about shooting in log is because you have all that additional information, you can really start to manipulate things to get an image that you feel happy with, that sets the tone. I was going for this cozy, warm vibe, and I think we've achieved that nicely here. Finding the LUTs on Sony's site was not as easy or intuitive as Canon. I just Googled Sony conversion LUTs, and this is the site it brought me to. It's still Sony's site, and you can see some applicable models here down at the bottom. Here are the LUTs for S-Log 2, and then of course you've got a LUT download package for S-Log 3. You'll go through the same process that you did with the Canon LUTs. Save them somewhere on your computer. You can save them inside of the application of your favorite editing software so they appear in the program, or you can just save them to a folder and browse for them. Now, one thing I noticed, Sony doesn't update their conversion LUTs nearly as often as Canon does, but maybe there's some other things going on there that they don't actually need to do so. I don't really know. I tend to work with Canon cameras primarily. I have used Sony in the past. However, this is where you'd go to get those LUTs. That's it, my friend. You now can take log footage from your camera, convert it into a Rec 709 inside your favorite editing software, and export this beautifully crafted, well-colored video for the world to enjoy. How very exciting. My hope is that you're starting to see that you don't need an advanced degree in color theory to be able to create something beautiful. Friend, I have so enjoyed this time that we've spent over the last few months as I've started to build out guided productions. I am working on some things behind the scenes that I'm super pumped for going into the new year that I know are gonna serve you powerfully. So please stick around to see what is coming up next. Friend, leave me a comment if any of this is helpful, or if there's something specific that you would like to learn more about. That really helps me know that I'm gonna create value for you. I don't wanna just make videos for me to enjoy. I wanna make them for you, and that's gonna help move you forward in your video journey. So please do reach out to me email me or leave comments below, and I would be happy to interact with you. Friend, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. And if you're watching this in July or somewhere later in the future, I still hope you have a Merry Christmas this year and all your years are happy. And as always, you can get my 6 steps to creating better video guide at guidedproductions.com/bettervideoguide, or just click the link in the description below. I highlight everything from idea to export, helping you navigate the entire video production process without missing a step. Friend, thank you once again from the bottom of my heart for all the time that you've given me. It does not go unnoticed, and I'm so looking forward to what we do in the years to come. Friend, have an amazing day. Go continue to create world-class content, and I will see you on another video real soon.